Hey guys, Monday morning in the shop. Let's just give you a quick lowdown on what we got going on. It's going to be a busy week and kind of nice that we have a variety of different things going on. It's not the same old. What we got here is a pour we did last week. So these are going to be a bunch of charcuterie boards. We got a pour here. We got a pour here. So we're probably going to get 6 or 7 boards out of each pour. And these are going to be hitting our online website because we have a big sale going on right now. 20% off. The code is LOVEWOOD20. Do that at checkout. All orders across the website wide except for our courses, it's going to give you that discount. So going to get James working on these today so we can hopefully get some of them up in the next couple days.
All right, what you're seeing here is our 53-inch wide belt sander. Boards go in on a conveyor belt that we can adjust the speed. It's also a vacuum bed. So there's actually a vacuum pump down here. Check it out down here. This is sucking all the wood down, holding it tight against the bed. Inside here we have 2 belts. We have an 80 grit usually, as well as a 120 grit sandpaper. We have air cleaners. Keep it going back and forth, blowing air against the wide belt sander, keeping the belts clean. And this one comes down to a drum, where that one comes down to a flatten. So that one's a bit more aggressive, that one's a bit more accurate. Magically they come out the other side. So this is it not being sanded to finally getting sanded. So it is a few passes. We typically only remove about 0.5 millimeter at a time. So it's slow and steady, but very accurate and very, very good quality.
All right, so this is the last of the 4 Chemtech smaller discs that we're doing. This one in particular, because we're trying to do something different with every piece for them, we will be doing bar top coating on this. So not a normal thing you see for a desk, but this is something we're going to do. It's going to give it full clarity. The next step for this is we just got to break some edges, and we're going to do an initial flood coat on this. Because what's going to happen is with this willow, it's really going to soak up a lot of the epoxy, and there's going to be dry spots in it. So what our goal is we're doing an initial pour so that we can really seal it all. We're going to do that today, and then tomorrow it's going to be all nice and hard. We're going to scuff it back, and we're going to do the final flood coat. This is the conference table that I just mentioned for Chemtech. So this is a solid jet black epoxy on the outsides. This is what we call the cast, where the epoxy is primarily on the outside. Sometimes you have a little bit of crack in the middle, which obviously the epoxy is going to fill in. Cool detail on it. Next steps for this is the bottom side, so we're going to flip it over. We're going to go through the sanding, make sure everything's good, and then we actually have 2 electrical boxes that we need to cut holes in to put in. So that's going to be on the agenda to do this as well, and then going through our final sands, going through the finish again. Same size as that willow over there. This one we did a water-based lacquer on it. So this had the pearly white in the bottom, where we did the clear epoxy on top. So it's really, really nice with the lacquer, how you can really see the depth. You can see all the details of the live edge. It's a really, really cool look on it. And it gives it a little bit of that still satin look, which is what we were going for with this. So walnut, the clear and pearl epoxy, turned out really, really nice, really happy with it. This piece here, this is going to be a Waterfall coffee table. So we've got some rough lines laid out. So this is where we're going to cut it, and it's where it's going to go down at a 45 or 90-degree angle, where the grain's going to continue and flow down. That's what we call the waterfall. So we got it at one end, and we're also doing it at this end too. Sometimes you get one of them, sometimes you get both. What's interesting with this one is you can see we've got lots of cracking in it, and just where the wood is split into the crotch, where this would have went into 2 different branches. So what's going to be difficult with this one, but we can do it, is you can see this crack comes right up to where our leg's going to be. So what we're going to do to avoid this falling apart after we cut our angles is we're going to be sticking bow ties in there. Those bow ties are going to hold it together. We're going to put some on the front because we want that detail in there. The customer's really, really keen on having the bow ties, and it's going to make it look awesome. But we'll also add some to the back, just to add a little bit more stability to it, so that way it doesn't fall apart when we're trying to glue it up, because that would be a train wreck. A couple other things we're going to do is we've got a few little spots where we're going to fill with epoxy just to seal it up there, but for the most part, this one's staying very, very clean with the cracks, where they don't want anything to do with the epoxy. They want it to be as natural as it can be, so it's going to be a really, really cool piece. Move over here. This is almost the same job, just on a smaller scale and less cracking. This is going to be a little hallway bench. So again, we've got the waterfall at this end. You can see our line laid out. Got a line laid out here. And this one's got a cool detail where we actually went for a chamfer on the bottom, quite a large chamfer. This one we had a little bit of live edge, we just filled with epoxy. We'll trim that down. So it's going to be a really cool feature you see on the underside of the table, because it's a little bit of a profile. So this one we're super excited for too. So if you've been following along, we've recently gotten a lot of map of burl. So this is something that we've done with the map of burl to show you guys, you know, just how it's going to look and what you can do with it. And this piece, what we did was we poured, you know, pretty good smoke color into it. It's not black, it's not clear, but very translucent. So if you look right in here, you can see all that burly figure. So next steps for this one, we're going to be flattening on the CNC, because you can see we got the ridges where the epoxy doesn't come up to the wood in certain spots and where it's pretty rough. We're going to CNC it, we're going to wide belt it, cut it to size, find out some beautiful legs for it, and apply some finish, which you'll be along for the ride for all of that as well.
All right, Justin's been hard at work here at the CNC. The first couple passes we usually do manual, but now we're going to be setting up a program. So he's going to be loading the program. We'll help him out with the size. He's going to pick a program that's wider than 44 inches and about 120 inches. So the way we set the machine, if we come over here, we want to have the edge of this about equal with the slab, so he's going to come over a little bit with the head. Okay, and then you can go that way a little bit. Okay, so he's going to zero the X, Y, as well as the Z. So he zeroed the X, Y, Z, and now he's going down 0.15. Z minus 0.15. And then you hit cycle start, and it sets the number to exactly what we want. He's now going to start the program. So behind me, what you're seeing is a bit that's about 3 inches in diameter. It's stepping over 1 inch, and it's moving full speed. This is as fast as our CNC can move at about 600 inches per minute. So it's going to go all the way to the end. It'll step over 1 inch, come all the way back. When it comes to this end, it's going to step over 1 inch and just head right on back. Just like that. And then this is what Justin does. That's good.
All right, well, here we go again. Andy asked me what I'm doing today. I told him not much. Well, I lied. There's lots going on always. So we got a couple orders going out this week. This big one here is for Marcel at London Lumber down in New Brunswick. He's going to be stocked up with 5/4 walnut and a bunch of 8/4. So if you're down that area, go get some. All right, hot sellers. Locust cookies are in. Check them out. Rob's getting them. Marcel's getting them. Everybody's getting them because they're awesome and people love them. Nice color, hardwood. All right, if you guys have been following along, we got a big order of map of burl from Serbia on Friday, and we unloaded the truck. It was a bit of a disaster, but today we're gonna go clean it up. Let's go check it out. All right, so here it all is. Big Steve and I are gonna get to work here. We're gonna start unpacking all these map of burl slabs and catalog them for our website. Make sure it's all here one by one. We're gonna measure all the widths, the lengths, put a number on it, and get them up on the website for sale.